obviously when it was a new manager came along and it decided that too much time was spent with me. Other people told me that basically they decided I wasn't cooperating, so it's difficult to know.
Well, it sounds, and in fairness, do I detect that you sense there's some validity in that you weren't cooperating enough?
Yes. It was difficult. There's a bit of a lack of trust as well.
Okay. So, but have the city council come along and said, listen, this is a fire risk, we need to clear it out?
No, you see, they have cleared it in the past.
Okay.
In the past 13 years, they did it about twice. They went in without any authority and cleared out and took all my possessions.
And how were you after when you discovered that? That would be just.
Well, I was hospitalised for a few months on one occasion when they did it.
And when you're hospitalised, what is the treatment?
Basically, just rest and giving you your medication. There is no treatment really. I mean, there have been promised CBTs.
Cognitive behaviour.
Yeah, but the chances of reporting are not great. I'd be waiting quite a while for it. I'd be taking up a valuable resource that other people could possibly use better than me. If I could just get the thing somewhat stabilised, I could possibly manage without CBT or anything.
And what's your understanding, Terence, of why you hoard so assiduously?
I don't know. No one has ever come up with that. I think it's a substitute for relationships, possibly.
And can I ask what age group you are? Not what age you are.
Yeah, I'm just going on 66.
And how long have you been?
Well, I've had the OCD since I leave it here, 71.
Okay. Where will you live? If the eviction date is, I see the order says the 15th of May.
Yes, it's around the 15th of May. Well, I have been offered a place back today in Cashel.
Okay.
But I don't see myself managing that. I think basically it'll either be the street or prison or something like that.
No, there won't be prison. Have you ever been in prison before?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
For contempt.
For contempt for not doing what the...
No, I was defrauded by a cousin.
Okay, walk it down that. But I don't. But by the way, Terence is not your real name either. Just to be clear, I'm not giving out any other details. And when you say I'm attending a consultant psychiatrist, what frame does he or she put on your OCD and your this incredible hoarding, which has seen you in such distress and more distressing situations emerge over half a century? What frame does the consultant psychiatrist put?
They don't have much in the way of resources, I don't really think, and they're overworked and understaffed and so on. There's not really much they can do. In fact, there's one thing about psychiatric illness, it's like when most people get ill, as I thought when it first happened to me, you go into hospital or whatever, and you come out and you're either dead or you're cured. But for psychiatric illness, it just stays going and going and going.
No, people do recover, Terence.
Some people do, yeah.
Yeah, no. In fairness, we won't get into the statistics, but a lot of people do recover. Now, also, a lot of people in the country suffer over their lifetime from anxiety, from depression, from panic attacks or whatever, but they do recover. Now, when you said CBT, we won't get into it, but when you said CBT, you immediately said, well, that won't work. But it won't work if you don't want it to work or you don't think it will work. But it has been proven to work. Not 100% and not for every condition, so to speak. But it is for anxiety and various other afflictions. The only word the only word to use to describe that awful feeling that can overwhelm people. That it can work. But if you say, well, I know they asked me to try CBT, but it doesn't work. Do you hear what you're saying to yourself?
I do, yeah. it's just, I'm basically repeating what the psychiatrist said. It's like the chances are it won't work, it won't work very well.
So Terence, if somebody phones us and says, commits to coming around to help you clean out your flat, would that help? No, not clean, because it's not dirt, I understand.
I know.
To clear it.
I mean, there's a lot of things I want to keep. Like, the corporation has said, like, basically, that they would clear out the flat. This was in the past. And that I could then go back. But you see, their idea of clearing out is to clear it out and dispose of everything.
Well, if someone offered, but just to say, sorry for cutting across there, because it is an awful situation, and OCD is a difficult affliction as well, and that's it. But it can be dealt with, and it can be managed. If someone said, "Well, listen, Terence, I have a lockup somewhere. I run a storage company. I'll store all once it's in half decent condition. I'll store all your magazines and books. I'll store them all in the lockup. You can come and see them whenever you want. They will not be put into a landfill." Would that help you?
Yes, that would certainly help. At the moment, I'm trying to find a way of getting basically a 40-foot trailer into which I could put everything, also some stuff that I already have in storage, so to consolidate it in one place and place it in one of these storage parks. You know,
Terence, does your OCD show itself any other ways in your behaviour apart from hoarding?
Well, I mean, if I wasn't taking my medication, my thinking would go to pieces. I would be in a very bad way. I would almost certainly be locked up in hospital.
Your what would go to pieces?
My thinking, my mind, my way of thinking. I would just almost disintegrate. Yeah.
The main manifestation of it at the moment, for a long time, is this inability to part with anything.
Yes.
Okay, this is
because the Americans have now put in an extradition treaty, so very serious for him, I would have thought, given the kind of charges he would be facing in the US and the potential sentences attracted to that. And he, over the many years he was stuck in the Ecuadorian embassy, he gave many interviews, including he gave an interview to us. But this is probably one of the more fascinating ones, which gives a true insight into his state of mind. This is when Julian Assange met Lady Gaga.
Sleep.
Outside the bookshelf.
What?
Yeah.
This is your room?
That's where mine. If I didn't care very much.
I want you to look like you just took your shirt off and you're at home, you know? You should just be in that, like something like that. Like a dirty t-shirt, like a Red Bull.
With a stain on it.
Yeah. What's your favorite kind of food?
Well, I went to Malaysia. Well, first of all, let's not pretend for a moment that I'm a normal person. I'm obsessed with our political struggle. I'm not a normal person.
Right. I just would really like for you to tell me how you feel, because I've been trying to get that out of you.
Why does it matter how I feel? Well, I mean, who gives a damn? I don't care how I feel.
Do you ever feel like just fucking crying?
No.
Never.
Never.
Even when you're happy. So you love your mom.
Yeah.
How about your dad?
My dad is much more abstract. So.
No, nothing like you then. I'm just kidding.
The whole thing about the dad was kind of a bit icky, really, because there was the whole being members of a cult and running away from him thing, which so obviously Lady Gaga had a bit of a lapse in her research there. In fact, one could be forgiven for thinking she had done zero research before she walked into the Ecuadorian embassy. Now, during the 1960s, the music show you had to appear on was, of course, Top of the Pops. But the most popular band in the world back then, the Beatles, only had one live appearance on the show. And amazingly, there's no recording of that appearance until one was just found in Mexico. On the line is Chris Barry, a TV historian and CEO of a company called Kaleidoscope. Afternoon, Chris.
Hello.
I suppose an immediate question people would ask was, did the BBC not record Top of the Pops when they used to broadcast it?
No, not much really. Not before 1976 really. The cost of videotape back in the 50s, 60s and 70s was so huge, and it was so difficult to repeat it that really it made no commercial sense to actually spend, you know, £300, £400 on a videotape and then keep it without reusing it. So basically, every week they would record it, just check the recording, play it out, and then wipe over it with the next week.
Oh my word. So the chances of finding a clip of the Beatles on Top of the Pops must have been fairly remote.
Yes, I mean, as your listeners may or realise or not, I mean, this was the only time the Beatles actually went into the Top of the Pops studio, because generally speaking they were so busy they would either pre-record something or they would do a pop video effectively, and the pop video would get played on Top of the Pops. So, you know, when you hear stories of the Beatles being on Top of the Pops, this was the one and only time they ever actually went into the studio. And we do know that it was recorded on film, because the BBC repeated it on Christmas Day, 1966, which is where this clip comes from. This comes from the repeat. What happened to that recording afterwards? We don't know. I mean, we think it was thrown away, because the BBC say it was thrown away. But of course, there could be someone listening to your show now who might know different.
Yeah, so the piece of footage you found, how was that recorded? Obviously, these were the days long before videotapes or anything like that.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, but back in the kind of 1960s, the very first video recording didn't really come in until about 1967, and you had to have a huge amount of money to be able to record them, because they were very expensive beats. But before that, of course, people would get their little standard 8mm cameras out, and they'd shoot their home films of, you know, mum and dad, the sightseeing on holiday, or, you know, maybe something else, like a birthday party. That's what happened here. This was a family in Liverpool, brand new 8mm camera, you know, wanting to do some filming with it, filming the family opening their presents on Christmas Day. They just happened to notice that, you know, the Beatles is playing on the telly, and they turned the camera around to film the TV for a few seconds.
So then, but you were contacted by somebody in Mexico. How did that happen?
Well, I mean, it's actually more common than you might think. I mean, the language of music is universal, and if you love the Beatles, it doesn't matter whether you come from Liverpool or you come from Mexico, you just love the Beatles. So what we have a situation of, we have a guy in Mexico who's a massive fanatical Beatles collector, just sees for sale this tiny reel of 8mm that says, you know, home movies, includes the Beatles, and he buys it just on the off chance there might be something on it. And normally with these kind of things, you know, 9 times out of 10, when you buy something, there's nothing remarkable about it. It's just trying to sell you something to try and get some money off you. But in this particular case, when they looked at this footage on the TV, they contacted us and they said, is this genuine? Is this really the missing few seconds what we think it is? Or is it something else entirely different? So we were able to verify it genuinely was, you know, a bit of the missing Top of the Pops, and then make sure the BBC could get it back.
How long is the clip?
About 11 seconds.
Right, okay.
It's not a huge clip, but it's long enough to see the Beatles in their time.
And is it mute, given it was on 8mm?
Yes, it was. I mean, we took the record version of Paperback Writer and dubbed it over the top. The BBC had got something, you know, with some sound on it as well, but the actual footage itself is mute.
Now, and in Kaleidoscope, as I understand it, this is something you do a lot of, tracking down footage that perhaps people thought was lost, and there will be an exhibition of this.
It's more something that we've kind of got into as a sideline, really. I mean, Kaleidoscope really, at its heart, is a research organisation, and a lot of what we enjoy doing most is, you know, going through the Radio Times, TV Times, newspapers, building up an accurate record of the past. And along the way, when you start doing that, you know, you start looking for the programmes because you want to get the information off the programmes to make it more accurate. So what we started 30 years ago as more of a general kind of research project has developed this kind of interesting sideline of people bringing things to us, or people asking us to go and look at things, you know, and trying to verify what they are. And most of the time, it's stuff that is very well known. You know, most of the time what we look at is stuff that has existed for many, many years. It's only once in a blue moon we come across things as wonderful as this Beatles footage, or indeed that Top of the Pops footage that we also kind of unveiled at the same time in the 1970s.
You also, though, found footage of Elton John on Top of the Pops, I believe, singing Rocket Man. This is from the 1970s, but that was believed lost as well.
Yes. I mean, that is part of a much wider collection of very old videotapes this time. I mean, we're talking real obsolete format, you know, late 1960s early 1970s video technology. A lady contacted Kaleidoscope through TV Brain, which is our website, and said she'd got these reels, and we weren't sure what they were. We actually thought they were probably audio recordings. In fact, she thought they were audio recordings to begin with. And then when I looked at the boxes, I realised they were top-to-box. And we started transferring those and going through them. I have to say that it's a vast collection. We've barely started going through the reels. We've already found 30 lost clips of missing top-to-boxes, and we have a lot more reels to go through. So it's not just Elton John, it's also T-Rex and people like Mungo Jerry as well. So lots of the great bands of the 70s are there, and all their lost performances.
And given that these were recorded such a long time ago, and a lot of these formats wouldn't exist anymore, do you have a vast array of old video machines and telecine machines and the like to be able to transfer these things?
Yes. I mean, fortunately, we can play all the old formats, like 2-inch and 1-inch, the kind of Panasonic EAIJ format, the Philips 1500 system, this CV2000 system, which records 4 or 5 line, and that is very useful because if you were to go to most people like TV companies and say you've got something, unless it's on a modern format, they really wouldn't know much about what to do with it at times. But we are very much in demand because we can handle all these formats. It's a particular interest probably in somewhere like Ireland as well, where 4 or 5 line was around a lot longer than 65 line. There could be people listening to your radio program today who actually have some of these old videotapes sitting at home, and they won't know what to do with them because the technology has just gone by the wayside. If they contact us through TV Brain, we can probably help them.
And just for anyone who might be in London, around that time of the 20th of April, the BFI in London will be screening a Music Believed Wiped programme, which will have, I assume some of the clips we've been talking about and many others beside. Chris?
Yes, that's right. But, I mean, we do our very best to try and do a couple of screenings every year in London, so we can try and showcase some of this lost material, because it helps to kind of generate publicity for people then going out to have a look and see what they might have.
Chris Berry is a TV historian and CEO of Kaleidoscope. Chris, thanks very much for talking to us.
Great, my pleasure.
We're going to take a break. After that, how do animals get around?
Moncrief on News Talk.
Sponsored by 123.ie. You can buy online or from your phone, because simple is smarter.
If you read this report, you will see that there is a very clear explanation in terms of what happened here.
I read the whole report last night, and it's a horror story from start to finish.
No one person to blame, but a whole load of people that didn't shout stop, that didn't ask questions, that didn't hear alarm bells ring.
What's next for the National Children's Hospital?
Do you know what the conclusion is? The 1.73 billion is only the beginning.
We're getting on, we're building this project, we're learning the lessons and the mistakes that have been made so they won't be repeated.
They made no reference whatsoever to the major reason why the abuse cost over us, and that is the choice of site.
I take full responsibility for the decisions that were made in relation to funding and resource of hospital. You accept it, but it has no consequence.
Stay ahead of the story with News Talk.
Of innovative features, smart technologies, and greater efficiency. It's designed to work as hard as you do. And with Ford Innovate driving better value, you can get 3.9% APR, a 5-year warranty, and a €2,000 bonus on the new Ford Transit range. Your business deserves the best in the business. Choose Ford Transit, the future of commercial vehicles. Order now at your local participating Ford dealer and register by April 30th. Ford, go further. Terms and conditions apply. See Ford.ie for details.
Are you sick of sitting in traffic? Tired of day in, day out, daily routine, wishing every Monday was Friday after everything it's nice to do absolutely nothing? Leave the ordinary behind with a stay at Powerscourt Hotel and Spa. Somewhere to do simply nothing or a little bit of everything. Find your perfect break at powerscourthotel.com.
This isn't gonna be easy.
Why are you talking in the voice?
Late nights, intensive research. Forget about seeing your family.
Oh, you're my wife.
We'll chase every lead, shake down every witness. Cross-reference every offer and triangulate every promotion until we find it.
Find what?
The way, Peter. The way to save on car insurance.
But I already went on to 123.ie. Save 10%, no questions asked.
Oh, I better cancel those sniffer dogs.
Simple is smarter. Get 10% off new car insurance when you buy online at 123.ie. Acceptance criteria, T's and C's apply. 123 Money Limited Trading is 123.ie is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland. RSA Insurance Ireland Act provides 123.ie car insurance.
At Central, we have great offers in store. Like Central Fresh Irish Extra Lean Mince 2x3 30 gram, half price now €3. Cadbury Milk Tray 530 gram, half price now €9.75. And Oyster Bay Sauvignon Blanc was $14.99, now just €10. Centra, live every day. Enjoy sensibly.
Retailers, don't miss out on one of the most important events of your year. Retail Excellence Retail Retreat and Expo, City West Convention Centre, May 21st and 22nd. Retail is changing from digital disruption to Brexit. Find out what's coming around the corner from 70 world-class retail experts, including Anthony Hooker, President and CEO of Southeastern Grocers USA. Hear the latest trends and learn how to grow your business online. Partners to Retail get involved too. It's where you need to be. Book now for tickets and expo space at retailexcellence.ie.
This is Ross O'Sullivan from Concern Worldwide. I've returned from Mozambique. Recycling Mayday has destroyed 95% of crops. We need to distribute seeds and replant within 2 weeks or there'll be a major food crisis. Please help Concern provide life-saving assistance. Call 1850 410 510 or visit concern.net to give what you can. Thank you.
On Grief's Fact of the Day. It is so good, you'll need to sit down.
About 2/3 of the characters in men's dream are male. Women dream equally of both sexes.
On Grief's Fact of the Day. Bet you didn't know that now, did you? 53168 on our text line. We'll ask you to send a job on that particular fact for me and somebody for today. Stephen in Dublin says, in relation to the piece we were doing before the breakdown about this very rare footage of the Beatles that's just been found in Mexico, of all places. I've been listening to your show for years, but I think that is the first time I've heard you talk about the Beatles. More, please, says Stephen, who's obviously a Beatles fan. I'm sure we have at some point talked about the Beatles. I just can't remember when. And Stephen, you know, I hate to tell you this, but like they broke up. It was very sad. It was a while ago, but you know. I imagine this lad's house being floor-to-ceiling tapes and VCR machines, says the texter. No, I think they're like a proper business. It's all very high-techy and stuff. Somebody else suggests that it might be irresponsible of the BBC to just tape over recordings. Is there not a law that they must keep footage for posterity? Well, no, I don't think there is a law that they had to keep it for posterity. And I suppose even at the time, the Beatles would have been a big group, but probably we didn't have the hindsight of history as to how big they became, or how much there is big now, as I suppose, in a sense, than they were then. So they could possibly have known that. But and as he said, taping things on VCR was extraordinarily expensive, and people would, of course, criticise the BBC for, and you can't tape everything and store everything, and then somebody has to make a decision as what's worth storing and what should be kept, and it's very, very difficult to make that particular call. Plus, also, back in the on either VCR or in some instances they used to record things on film. It would be thrown away or destroyed, just in case anybody might say, I want to sue the broadcast for something that I heard in that. But if you destroy the VCR, there's pretty much no way of proving that they were libeled. So they sang live on Top of the Pops. I don't think the bands are allowed to do that. No idea why would you, but it was not a known thing. That's a good point. I don't know as far back as those days, but yes, certainly what they used to do. Now, I don't know what they do it then, but they would mime or they would sing live, but to a backing track. And I think most of the reason why it's just a set of technical reasons, because you need far more microphones, you need a mixing desk. A lot of the times the bands would want their own mixing person mixing the sound, and it makes it far more complicated to do that. And indeed, that still happens today. Probably, I would imagine on many shows where you see bands or singers appearing, that there's just a backing track going on. But it was a live appearance that I suppose is the important thing about it. John says, I have footage of Thin Lizzy in Milltown in Dublin.
exercise probably, for a period of years. Why was he allowed to be arrested at all after 7 years? They go after him now. Well, the Ecuadorian embassy, I think, had granted him political asylum, but for some reason had retracted it. So I don't know what the reason behind that was, but they seemed to retract it, or perhaps there had been an ongoing application which ultimately failed. But there is an extradition case in Sweden with the rape allegations. I can't off the top of my head. I'm not sure what happened with that, if those allegations are still alive or not. Did they have to drag Assange out of the embassy? I actually felt sorry for him, which is a strange feeling. Well, he was led out of the embassy. I don't think he was kicking and screaming, but to be honest, given how wan and unhealthy he looked, I don't think he would have been able to put up much of a struggle, to be honest with you. Now, how do animals get around? Now, we all know that birds, for instance, can migrate huge distances, but they are far from the only creatures with this ability, and different animals can do it in different ways. David Barry is the author of Incredible Journeys, exploring the wonders of animal navigation. Afternoon, David.
Good afternoon.
Before we get on to animals, and there's all sorts of fascinating ways in which animals navigate their way around the world through magnetic fields and the like, do humans have any of those abilities?
Well, there's recent research, very recent, that does suggest that human beings may be able to sense the Earth's magnetic field, but it appears to be at an unconscious level. So it doesn't seem at all likely that it would be of any use to us in terms of finding our way around, unlike all the other animals that you just referred to.
But I suppose one must wonder, though, that thousands of years ago, when we were hunter-gatherers, was it just remembering landmarks?
Well, that's the curious thing. It seems to me that if we once did have access to a sort of magnetic sensor that would help us find our way around, why on earth would we have lost that? Because it really would have been so useful that natural selection, you'd think, would have preserved it. So it's a bit of a puzzle, and I think there's going to be quite a bit more debate about it. There was a study way back in the 60s that suggested that human beings actually could kind of tell which way they were going even when they were covered in sort of sight and sound, but that was later discredited. So this is quite new, and it's interesting. But what it means, we don't quite know yet.
And now, having said all that, I think that there is a section in the book where you write about Eskimos and how they can navigate around fjords.
Yes. Well, this is a wonderful story that actually comes from quite an old book by a kind of master navigator called Harold Gatty, and he interviewed a British explorer who'd worked up in Greenland in the 1930s, and he told this extraordinary tale of going out with a lot of Inuit, as we now call them, I suppose, in their kayaks along the coast on a sort of hunting expedition, and they were in fog, couldn't see the land, and they were paddling along, and he had no idea how they were going to find their way into the kind of narrow entrance of their home fjord, and he was actually getting quite nervous. And then suddenly the Inuit guy in the lead made a sharp turn, and they paddled through the fog, and lo and behold, there they were, right in the fjord entrance where they needed to be. And he later discovered that the trick they had used, if you can call it a trick, was that they'd learned to recognize the individual calls of male snow bunting, kind of bird, and they recognized the particular call of the snow bunting who nested or had his place at the mouth of their fjord. So they were just using this sound, the sound of the bird song, to tell them where to turn. It's an amazing story. But it's a typical example of the way in which so-called primitive people were, and in some cases still are, able to perform extraordinary feats of navigation that would completely baffle the rest of us, because they're so closely attuned to the environment they inhabit.
That is, I suppose that you could say their environment around them is their technology.
Absolutely, and the point is they use their brains and their senses to an extraordinarily sophisticated level, and it's formidable. The sad thing is, of course, that with new technology, GPS and all the rest of it, a lot of these skills are now endangered, if not actually disappearing.
Yeah. Now, some of the creatures which